So I'm going to give an update on the 40 gallon here because I've done some things, and since the last update about a month or two ago, a little bit, it's changed just a little bit, and I just want to show those updates today now that it's been, about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks since I've done the changes. And if you can already tell, there's plants back in this tank. Um, if you guys have been subscribed for quite a while, back in a while back, we actually had this tank fully planted. Basically, it wasn't that much, to be honest. We had S Repins in the front here. Um, what else did we have? I know we had like some type of Java Fern over here, and then we had the obviously the Anubias, which is still here to this day, just because it's connected itself to the rocks, and it's like literally super glued on there now. As you can see, this is actually a new leaf right here, which is why it's yellow. Um, let's see. Yeah, see, like the roots, they're basically connected to the rocks now, and it's basically became a part of it. So I've always kept it there, and plus it's really low maintenance, so it growed very well. But the reason we got it, because I made a video. It was a very popular one, so a lot of you probably didn't see it. But I removed the plants making a video. I think it was during like a live stream, maybe. I don't know. Um, and the reason for that was because we had problems with things, so I had to shut off the light to reduce growth of certain things we had going on. And and the plants end up basically dying out. I mean, some of them probably could have came back and would have been just fine, but I didn't want to. Plants, when they die, it's just like any fish; it can release ammonia, and I just didn't want to deal with any of that, and it looked bad, so I tore it all out, and we basically went back to just you know our sand and rock look that we had in the very beginning. And now that I was like, well, both all these the tanks I have, we're only gonna have them for maybe, this will definitely be the last year we'll have them. That's not the last time. Well, at least just in this house, they'll be a bit set back up. This one will look exactly the same, pretty much, until I upgrade it to something different, into a rimless tank eventually. But the 20 gallon will get rescaped, and that will have a whole new setup and everything. But I thought it'd be cool just to experiment in this tank while it's here until we have to tear it apart, which we'll probably replant it again and just keep it like that. But at least for as long as it's gonna be set up right now. Well, as long as it's set up right now, we could try something that not necessarily new, but experiment with some things. And one of the things is the S Repins. But so the few things we did, as you can see in that tank, we have the Bakupa all back there, a big bush of it, and we trim it quite often. So what I did was, basically, you can see we have a bunch of trimmings and some back here, and I basically just planted it, and I'm hoping this can grow. I'm not gonna let it get too tall. I mean, we'll just see what happens, but maybe just, maybe this height right here. It looks like it's already that tall, but it's really not. It's just a camera, but maybe get it to where it's like up to this rock, and then I kind of just keep it trimmed at that level. But right now we have it pretty good. We have quite a bit. I think we have one, two, three, four. We have about 6, 7 stems in there, which looks nice. I mean, if we do an overhead view, yeah, there we go. So that should look pretty nice in that corner once it grows all out. Um, Obviously they're not gonna be bright. They're pretty bright on color on camera, but they're not as like vibrant as in the 20 gallon. Obviously, because the 20 gallon is way more high tech and and has a nicer substrate, way nicer substrate, fertilizer, and it gets all this fancy stuff that this tank doesn't. So, but you can see the reflection back there. You can see it's really nice. It kind of curves that area, and then back here, we got Big Sexy right there. But we got about, I think there's about 3 stems right there, and I had some left over, so I was like, I might as well just put them somewhere. But yeah, we got 3 stems. These actually been growing really nice. These were actually have grown double in size. These ones back here, they've been growing, but not as fast as these ones. For some reason, these ones back here, like, just like straight, just grew really tall, really fast. But those will be the same idea. We'll probably grow it up to like here and then keep it level, because I don't want to get any too crazy tall. Because these, obviously, in this tank, you can see how tall they are. They're about a foot to 15 inches in that tank. And then we have another little tiny Bakupa right here, which I don't know why I put it there. I just put it there because I had an extra stem, so I was like, I'll just put a little baby. Um, it's grown a little bit, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if I'll keep it right there. I just thought I'd put something right there, just whatever. And then this is what I'm really curious about is I basically, when I was trimming my S Repens, I cut off the tips. You know, that's usually how we do it. Just, you know, cut off as much as you can. And I had some tips left over, and I basically just buried them in sand because obviously they have no roots. So my experiment is I know they can regrow like any plant if you trim them, but except it's S. repens and it's carpeting plant, or I use it as mainly just a regular, you know, kind of a bushing plant is what I use it for. But I just want to see really is how much we can grow these just little trimmings. Because, I mean, they're definitely, like this one is definitely like growing straight up. These rests are starting to poke out a little more, so I'm interested to see, like, over time, as long as we have this right here, is to see how much this actually grows in. Because it'd be kind of interesting to see. Just cut, because I've never replanted S. repens, and so I didn't really know how fast they could really grow back. So this will be kind of my experiment right here. But yeah, that's basically all I want to show you guys. There's nothing really else new here. If we want to do a quick walkthrough for people that are watching this and haven't seen this is 38 gallon bow front, 40 with the filters. We got the Fluvalite fluval heater, which is actually I think broke because it's not heating this tank at all no more. I actually found out that it wasn't plugged in, but and I plugged it back in, so I don't know. It still feels. I haven't checked the temperature, but it's been sitting at room temperature for about a couple months, so I was kind of worried about that. But the fish are just fine, so I might have to replace this filter. I don't know what happened. I don't think it's broken, but we'll see. I haven't really checked on it in a while, but it did come back on, so I forgot to check the temperature on it, but I'll probably do that after this video. And then this tank is run on two Aquaclear 50s. One is just all sponges and one is all back biomedia. So I can basically keep this here and never clean it. I do once in a while if it gets a lot of buildup, but basically I just always clean this filter and leave this alone because you know it's bio. It isn't. You don't want to mess with it too often. So we're not getting no bacterial blooms from cleaning our media too much. That's happened to me way too many times than it should because I'm just dumb sometimes. But and also we have the back of the tank black, and yeah, this is Sirius stone. This is Caribbean Sea substrate, just a regular plain old. It's kind of a white tannish, but it turns more tan once it's in your tank for a long time. It's a really good looking sand if you guys are looking for kind of a neutral color, natural looking sand. And then obviously, like I said, this is Sirius Stone custom scape that I did. It fits really well with this tank. At least I think it does. And then we did have probably around 15 different species of fish in this tank. It's starting to become super randomized with the amount of fish. Like a lot of these fish should be having big schools of each other. They kind of all school together, but I don't know. It's kind of a weird mix in this tank right now. But then we also got Pearl Gourami, and then we got Big Sexy, which is a bristlenose plecto. That's the oldest fish I have at 4 years old. But other than that, I don't want this video getting too long, so just that's a little update. But comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.